Alright, we have a Honda Brio, and the number one complaint about this car, I should know, I have one, is that it has a electronically limited top speed of 140 kilometers per hour, which we of course we are going to get rid of when we remap the car, and this is why this car is here, because obviously he wants to get rid of that, and along with the usual litany of stuff that more response, don't want any lag, a little bit more power, a little bit more torque, but more importantly, no top speed limiter. So that's what we're going to do with our SpeedLab ECU remap. Follow along and I will explain to you exactly what happens and what's adjusted and what's done to a car when you remap. Then this procedure is pretty much the same for any Honda out there. Civic, City, Jazz, CRV, CRZ, Accord. So the process is 99% the same. Ito yung software na pang remap. Actually, dalawang software siya. Isang reader-writer, isang editor. Ano bang background mo? Computer, engineer?
Computer naman.
Computer naman. Okay, sige, much better. Comsci?
Comsci.
Comsci. Okay, mas maganda yung interior. Nakapag-root ka na ba ng, ano cellphone mo? iPhone or Android?
Android.
Na-root mo na?
Dati, may
Dati.
naroot ako.
Marunong ka. So, nag-root ka.
May naroot ako at meron din ako na brick.
Yun. Exactly the same sa kotse. So, first thing you do when you root, di ba, you have to identify the processor. Ito yun. So, di ba, meron kang two pieces of software. Isang yung actually yung pang-root lang, tapos yung pang-sulat ng update. Tapos yung isang kung ano yung kailangan mo i-root. Yun. So, there's two pieces of software. Same thing with cars, you have two pieces of software. This one is the reader-writer. Dito yung ID. So, sa Honda kasi, for this one, we have a lot of protocols here, meaning different kinds of ECU. 1MB, 2MB, 3MB, 2.5, 512, all of that. Iba-ibang kotse, yan yung mga protocol niya. Yung Brio, since ako naman gumagawa nun, alam ko na it's a 2MB ECU. So I can see your VIN number 2, part number, etc. etc. But most importantly is this one, yung ECU type mo, Honda PGM FIK 2MB. So we chose the correct protocol. This is what they mean by ID. Yung mga pinuntahan mo nagre-remap.
Wala pa sila nun. Malamang wala pa sila. Parang ganun ba, sir?
Hindi nag-edit yung mga yun. So this one right now, i-download mo yung entire 2MB. Yung laman isip. Laman isip mo 2MB lang, that's it. Liit lang, di ba?
Liit lang pala.
Mas malaki pa MP3 eh. Yung mga bago, yung Civic na Type R, yun, 4MB. Maliit pa rin.
Mali pa rin, pero doble.
So this one's reading it right now. So after I read it, I'm gonna open it up in the editing software. Doon makikita yung mga anong pwede edit, which is basically why it's called remapping, because you will see the fuel map, ignition map, throttle map, timing map, so on and so forth. And nandun din yung speed limit makikita mo mamaya when I show it to you.
The main objective.
Yeah, that too. And later we can test it on the dyno, because this one on the dyno is a theoretical speed limit, meaning it's freewheeling. We can put it in fifth gear and rev it to no matter how much, because we have no wind resistance. So theoretical top speed we can do. It takes several tries to get the speed limit correctly, because every ECU is slightly different from each other. So sometimes the speed limit map is there, but you change it, it doesn't work, meron pa ulit kailangan gawin. When you're traveling 160, may katumba sa 160 na hangin yan eh. It's a 1.2 engine, how much more do you want to expect? But aside from the speed limit, of course, throttle delay will be gone. You'll have about 7 to 10 horses more. All stock?
All stock.
7 to 10 horses more. Torque will be about another 12 to 15 more.
May drop-in siya, pero of course.
That's fine. Mine too is pretty much all stock. Then the throttle, since mine's a CVT, ginawa ko talaga konting tapak lang, sipat kagad.
Yun ang ano niya, kahit na first gear. Ay, kunya biglang nag-second gear. Yun talaga yung
babaksak. Ayun. It's really like that. So each one of these things is called a map. So that's why it's called remap to begin with. Let's go here to sa limits. Speed limit. Yan. So gagawin ko dyan 300. And this one should be 6,500 RPM. So you should be able to rev all the way to 6,500, because it limits one of two ways. Either papatay niya sa RPM, ayaw niya, kaya ayaw rin tumaas sa 140 kasi 3,000 RPM lang.
Okay.
Yun na yun.
Ano yung nakaset kanina?
3.5.
3.5 lang?
Diba?
Okay.
Yun hindi napapansin. Kahit nung bira mo, 3.5 lang siya. Then there's another RPM, there's another limit here where, let's see if there's 3.5. Malamang ito yun. Yung pag naka-neutral ka, if you rev it, ay lumampas ng 4,000. So most likely this is it. So it's only at 3.5. So from this one, we'll change it to 6,500. And there's another one here. We'll change that also to 6,500. Yeah. So now you can rev at neutral or in park to 6,000.
Okay.
Then the delay that you're talking about is this one, throttle valve control 1. So 100 na. Okay, this one. So this is what the explanation of that one is. Percentage is percentage ng tapak.
Okay.
This is RPM. So obviously, pag tumapak ka, tumataas yung RPM. The numbers here in the middle mean that for this percentage tapak, ito yung bukas ng throttle. So as you can see, hindi siya pantay. So at 2%, 1.5 lang yung bukas. At 5%, it opens 3%, 9, so on and so forth. Ito yung delay na napapansin ng lahat ng tao.
Okay.
Kasi hindi pantay. Kaya tumapak ka ng 5%, ang bukas niya, 3% lang.
Kahit naman mas madiin.
Kahit mas madiin, hindi pa rin. Pero pumapantay siya beyond 30%. So if you look at here, at 29%, ayun, medyo pantay na siya eh.
Okay.
At 35%, ayun. So on and so forth. So what we do is I only adjust from here up to here, the first 1/3. Throttle delay on any car is pretty much only the first 1/3 lang. Kasi the assumption ng computer is yun nga, after more than 1/3,
Which is true naman.
gusto mo na ng lakas, yun, doon na niya bubuksan.
Doon din yung delay talaga.
Yun. Yung unang
Simula.
yung unang gano'n na tapak. Yun. Yan yun.
Tapos didiinan mo tuloy lang.
Hanggang lumampas ka ng 1/3,
Okay.
tsaka niya ibibigay. So this
Makes sense.
numerical representation of what that delay actually is. Yun ang hindi nakikita ng mga tao. So this one, I'll make it 3. So for a 2% tapak, 3% yung bukas, slightly better. So at 5%, I'm gonna make this 6. At 9%, I make this usually 10. Plus 1, 16. 17. Let's make this 30. Yan, this one we don't mess with no more. So, ayan. This one, malakas na sumibat yan.
Okay. Magulat na ako dun.
Hindi pa naman. This one also. Requested torque naman is basically what it says. The throttle right now is basically not a gas pedal anymore but a request for how much torque the engine will produce. So, kung may input ka, ang output niya is an equivalent amount of torque. So, once again, this is RPM. So we start from here, 1, 2 to about 3, 5. So we make the torque request higher. So on and so forth. Ito, siguro tatanong ng mga club to. Pwede galawin yung VTEC? Pwede.
Currently ngayon, parang 5,000?
No, there. 213937.
Ano sir yung may 0, 1, 2, 3?
0, 1, 2, 3 is wala. Just basically, it divides the whole, wala. It's a division lang. So these are the points where VTEC activates.
Oh.
That's it. So as you can see, there's no point in galawing it. I can make it 5,000, it doesn't really do anything. I can make this even, 2.1's already pretty low. Making it 1.5 will not do anything either. So yun yung sagot dyan. Playing around with the, kasi it's a 3-stage VTEC, it's not the SIR VTEC no more, now 1 and 2 lang eh. So it has a low, mid, and high. So this is pretty much low, mid, and high right there. No point in galawin this. So even if I galaw it, wala ka mararamdaman as in nothing.
Kahit na 4K RPM lang.
Sige, we'll make it 4K. Pwede.
Okay na siya.
Sige, we'll make this 4,000. We'll make this a little bit higher at 3.9. You won't feel a damn thing. So there's no point. The rest of this, particularly this one, fuel, And then spark timing. This is how much fuel we can inject. This is spark timing. This one we will adjust once we see your car on the dyno and see the air fuel ratio. So, dyno na muna. But that's basically what remapping is. You can remap yourself.
No, I don't want to mess it.
This
time I will break my car.
Yun,
Not just like home.
No, actually, you won't break the car, but of course, like with any software, if it's your first time using, kapa-kapa muna lahat. So
I don't want to mess it.
the only time you will break your car actually is this one, particularly sa Honda. So after all of this, so we'll save it into another file. So that file we will write again using this software here, instead of PCM Flash. So because there's a write button there. So you pick the file, you'll write it, and then while it's writing, pag natapik mo to, ayun, break yun.
Okay. Okay.
So that's pretty much the only time you're gonna break a Honda, is if you physically mess with this one. Other cars have more chances of breaking, particularly Ford o kaya European. Sometimes you do a file, you write it, car don't start. Madaming kaarte na yun. That simply means either you break it, or if it starts, that means there's something na here na dapat hindi mo galawin na nagalaw. Setting that you should not mess with, although they give it to you, you're not supposed to mess with it. Yun. It doesn't matter if it's a Civic, Accord, CRV, ito lahat yung itsura niyan, tapos ito din yung mga ginagalaw doon, because it's still a gasoline engine. Even if we go to Toyota, it's still pretty much air, fuel, tas may throttle din, may torque request is same thing. But every car has a different setting, and the tables are a bit different also. It's not because it's 1 here and you increase it to 5, ganun din pag sa Toyota. No. So now we're gonna test speed limit delete. Limit defeated. We did 3 runs, di ba? Tatlong bira.
3 runs.
3 runs means 1, 2, and 3. So the colors here just mean the different runs.
Okay.
So first 2 runs is this one, the red and the green. So you can make maximum of 78 wheel horsepower, but this 78 only happens at 6.5 RPM.
Okay.
It happens nowhere else, ha? Kasi kala na tao na pag-apak mo, you get the full whatever horsepower na kagad. You actually start here at 20 horses. That's it. At 1.8 RPM. This blue line, if you notice that, it's a lot lower. Nakabukas yung aircon.
Kaya yun ang turbo tinatawag nila.
Hindi.
Pinatay. Turbo.
Yes, yun. Because the aircon soaks, when the compressor's on, it soaks up a certain bit of power. So from 78, naging 61 horse na lang pag nakabukas yung aircon. So mahina.
Totoo yun.
Yun. Humihina yung hatak pag aircon. This is proof of that. Tama to, ito normally 10 horse, 10 something horse to. Tama yan. We've tried it on every other car. Ganun talaga. Kasi aircon compressors, kahit anong kotse, isa yung itsura nun eh. It's the same compressor no matter what car it is. So it pretty much soaks up that amount of power. So you know, something interesting to look at.
Okay.
So now at least we have it. So 78 horses.
78 horses.
Yeah, it's pretty much what we expect. So editing, I'm gonna edit the file, then I'm gonna write it in. This way. Hindi ko na
masyado nga ano yun. Pero yung, ito talaga yung may ano yun. Ayun. Yun yung may delay.
Oo, yun.
Actually pa ganyan. Kasi minsan hindi papasok ng first gear yan. Oh. Kasi yun talaga yun yung time na ano eh. Hindi ko na iba-burn out talaga. Hindi naman ako papatakbo talaga mabilis eh.
Kahit anong gawin, hindi natin mapapaburn out ng kotse na to. Wala talaga.
Hindi yung iarangkada ko. Hindi naman ako gano'n mag-drive.
Maski arangkada mo, ganun pa rin.
Okay na ako doon yung...
Masibat lang, then kanan ka ulit dito.
Ayan. Okay na rin. Pero syempre, pinapahalaga sa akin yung...
Yan, umupa ka na dito habang malinis.
Ay, nag-aircon eh.
Di balik na, okay lang yan. Like I said, nothing exciting, nothing special, but it's a bit better than it was before. Yun na yun. Sige, kanan ka na dito. Not very exciting. Pag diesel kasi, malakas yung tawa ng mga tao eh. Because we're adding 50-60 horse eh.
Pero expected ko rin naman talaga yun. 1.2. Pero yung ano ko, yung Almera ko talaga. Kahit na stock yun.
Malakas yun for
Iba
someone.
talaga, no?
Yeah, malakas yun. We have an Almera too. Yun, pwede rin remap yun.
Re-remap pa yun, pero na ano ko na yung 170 eh. Pero parang 170 lang.
Hindi, you remap not because of the top speed. You remap because you get to the top speed faster. So,
I think I'm good.
you're good. Okay.